Hey guys, GPU CPU here. Today I'm going to be building a budget gaming PC. I'm going to first start off with the motherboard. I'm going to put the CPU in, and then I'm going to put the motherboard in the case. So here we go. I'm going to first put the CPU in. I have to be careful on this part because there's all these delicate pins and stuff that I don't want to get damaged, otherwise the whole CPU is ruined. It goes right here and there's a latch I have to push up on. Okay, I got the CPU in. Whatever you do, do not press down on the CPU. There's a little tiny arrow right there that you need to find on the CPU socket, and when you line it up, the CPU will just fall down. Do not push down on it, because you can ruin the pins. I'm gonna go ahead and take out this case fan so that putting the motherboard in is easy. To remove the case fan, all you need to do is unscrew it right here. I got the case fan out, and these screws, it came with the case, and I'm guessing these are the motherboard screws that will hold the motherboard into the case. I got the motherboard in. All you had to do was line it up with the case where the motherboard screws in. I'm gonna put some screws in now. Here, let's see, there's one over here, and I don't see any in the middle. There's one up here, obviously, one right here, and one over here. And if I left this one out, one over here. With that out of the way, up next I'm gonna install the SSD, the air cooler, and the RAM into the motherboard. This is where the SSD goes. All you have to do is unscrew these two screws right here, and then you can access where you can put the SSD in. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. All you have to do is put it in like this. Make sure it's in. And then there's a screw right there that I need to screw in. On to installing the CPU fan. I'm pretty sure I need to remove this, whatever this is, so that, because I don't see any holes. I have to install the CPU fan with the case standing up because there's this part. It goes in like this. Just lining up with the 4 holes, and make sure the top of the CPU is clean. You don't want any grease or anything like that. I'm back from work. Earlier I ran into a problem. See how the screws are in a rectangle shape pattern and there is no mounting bracket? The CPU fan did not come with a mounting bracket from AMD, so I'm gonna have to buy a new CPU fan. And this is like a regular CPU cooler. It's in a square pattern, so this will not work. I'm gonna save the CPU fan second to last, but I'm gonna install the RAM. To install the RAM, you press down on this clip. I'm gonna space them out and see how there's a groove in the middle. One side is actually longer than the other, so you have to find which side. So this side is longer than the other, so the RAM should just slip in. I don't want to force it in. I want to make sure it's lined up. I know it's hard doing this one-handed. I'm just gonna put the camera down so I don't mess something up. I got the RAM installed. I'm using two 8 gigs, so that's 16 gigabytes in total. I'm gonna remove the front grill to remove the fan in there, and then I'm gonna put in the case fans. To remove the grill, all you have to do is pull on it. Just be gentle with it, and it should come right out. And then there's a screen on this case. Every case is a little different. To remove the screen, all you have to do is pull this off. And then here are the fan screws. I'm gonna take out the fan. To install the fans, all you have to do is line it up with the slots. Make sure you put the fan the right way. I'm going to use the screws that came with the case. I got the fans installed. They're a little dusty, and these are cheap fans. Later down the road I could upgrade them. But I'm gonna feed the wires through the top right there. Next, I'm gonna connect the case wires to the motherboard. See how this connector says audio? And look at the connector. It says J-Odd right there, and it's missing one pin on purpose. I'm assuming that's where this one goes. Next one, I'm gonna connect this connector to right there. These little wires, you're gonna have to read the instruction manual right here. You have to find JFP1, which is right there. And then look at the diagram, which one goes to where, and then you can plug them in. I got all of them hooked up. For this, you really need to read the instructions that came with the motherboard. Next, I'm going to install the power supply. I already got all the cables connected that I need. Here's the motherboard. Here's the CPU. And here's the graphics card. These are for the case fan. The power supply goes in like this. It's kind of hard to do it with one hand, but let me try and fix it, but you get the point. I'm gonna go ahead and put one screw in right here so that the power supply is secure. Actually, I'll put 2 screws. I got 2 screws in. Both of them came with the case. Just to be safe, I'm actually gonna put 2 more screws in, which will complete all the screws. I'm gonna hook up the motherboard connector first. This is what powers the motherboard. It goes right here. It's pretty obvious. I ran the GPU power cable through there so that it'll be easy for me to hook up the GPU to the power supply. I'm gonna run the CPU power cable up through here. Next, I'm gonna connect it to right there. I'm gonna go ahead and install the HDD into right there. I know it's dark, sorry about that. This piece right here actually pops out, and I went ahead and put the HDD on the piece. I went ahead and connected the HDD to the power supply, and I'm gonna connect the SATA cable to the motherboard. The SATA cable connects right there. There's a lot of them. I'm going to go ahead and install the fan that goes right there. Next, I'm gonna hook up all the case fan to the power supply. This is what it should look like when you've hooked up all of them together. I almost forgot to hook this wire up, but I did it. So I got all the RGB wiring connected to the RGB controller from my old PC. I actually had to find a place to mount this somewhere. I used a CPU water cooler. It just goes like that. And that's how I found a place. I had to make sure it doesn't touch the case so it doesn't short circuit or something. I think I found what I needed to mount the CPU cooler to the CPU and the case, but it only came with 3 of them for some reason. Well, apparently this is exactly, I think, what I needed. You see, this part screws into the back plate, and then it's elevated up, and then you can put the CPU fan on. That screw right there is exactly what I needed to mount this CPU fan cooler to the CPU and the case. But it only came with 3, so I guess that's gonna have to do. I got some thermal paste, and I'm gonna apply some thermal paste. I just put a good size dot in the center of the CPU of thermal paste. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to start over again. This time I put a screw in the 4th place where there wasn't that thing. And if this doesn't work, then I'm just gonna have to buy a new CPU cooler. There was some space in between the plate, and when I screwed in the CPU cooler, the air cooler, and I just put some paper in between the plate and the motherboard. Nothing metal that would cause a short. It seems to be on there pretty good. Next, I'm gonna connect the CPU fan right here. The final step is to install the graphics card. This is pretty easy. Make sure you don't break that clip right there. And I did have to remove some parts from the case, but that was super simple. So I'm gonna put in the graphics card because I want to use 2 hands. I got the graphics card in. Here's what the front of my PC looks like. Here's what the back looks like. I know my cable management isn't the best. Okay, I plugged it in. I'm pretty sure I completed everything. So I'm gonna do the first power on. Let's hope this works. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Let's go! My first time building a PC. Okay, so I got the white light and the DRAM popped up, and this RAM I used on the other motherboard, and it's not as fast, the speed is, as this RAM is, because this RAM is 32 MHz, and this is 26 MHz. So I think this one is not compatible with my computer now, or the motherboard. So I'm gonna put this in and see if I can get it to power on. I checked the CPU and all the pins, it seemed fine. So I'm just gonna reseat it and see if that will work. It's up and running. How I fixed the white solid CPU light, I flashed an updated BIOS right there, and the PC, it started displaying something. So now all I have to do is install Windows 11. Don't forget to overclock your RAM in the BIOS. You go to overclock settings, DRAM frequency, and then you set it to whatever you bought it. So I set mine to 3200. And now you just hit exit and save. Well, people, this looks like it for the video. Here's the PC, the completed PC. And the back is just it's just plain. But here it is. I got my channel up, and I'm gonna upload this video as soon as I'm done editing. And I hope it helps you guys when it comes to building PCs, because I really did enjoy building this gaming PC. And thank you for watching my channel and supporting it. So take it easy and have a nice day.